You're back for more of The Deuce here on BuzzChomp, and I'm reacting to the series finale of The Deuce. I'm Dan Salem, and despite the obvious cheese inherent in how the show actually ended, I can't imagine it ending any other way.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe to
BuzzChomp. Woo! The Deuce was a quintessential 3-season, 3-arc story/play. It ended a little cheesy, but all along it was about life going on, life continuing. No matter if you lived a life of sin, or if you tried to escape, or if you were wrapped up in the sin of your family or friends, life simply goes on. And the show began with Vinny, and it ended with Vinny, and life went on. It was kind of perfect. I can't particularly imagine another way I would have liked it to end. I've been saying all season I kind of figured they were going to time jump in the final episode, and lo and behold, they did it with about 5 minutes to go, and they jumped all the way to the present day. So we could actually see the parallels between crazy, dark, disturbing New York of the 70s and early 80s, and then what it became today in 2019, where it's this glimpse and glamour. Every street corner that those hoes and prostitutes and pimps and drug dealers and mob bosses and those dirty clubs and the brothels and the bathhouses were positioned, we got to see its modern day counterpart as Vinny walked down the streets and said hi to all the people that was in his life that are now dead. Every person he saw in the final montage had died at some point over the course of his life, and he outlived them, and he saw them in their former glory in his mind as he remembers them in place in what once was the Deuce, and now is this Times Square / tourist mecca, quote unquote. It's kind of awesome. I mean, I was thinking it the whole show how, oh, they're right there and this is what it becomes, and I've been saying it, and how they teased it finally with the police and the city in this final episode, where we have a way that we can close the door on all these non-desirables and kind of skirt the law. Let's do it. Let's turn over New York and clean it. It got pushed up to the Bronx. It doesn't go away. It just moves. I mean, currently in today's climate, Brooklyn's turning over. Where's it moving to? Somewhere. Nobody really wants to think about that. The fact is, Times Square is what we know of it today. We got to see it in direct comparison to what it was in the show, and that's pretty damn cool. I also liked Vinny's arc. I kind of thought he'd always end up getting out, and he did. He had to pay a steep price to escape the mob's oversight, but he was able to get out. He was able to actually have a free life based solely upon the life that he lived of sin, quote unquote. I'm going to keep going quote unquote because it's sin in the eyes of some, not in the eyes of others, regardless. And he escaped. The only thing that didn't happen was that he didn't help make Candy's movie. Every other thing I saw in the show happened, except for that one specific thing. But Candy did actually get to make her film. She didn't have to put herself in it, but she made her movie, and it wasn't a fuck film. It was a regular art house movie, a drama, that became critically acclaimed, even though no one watched it when it came out. That tends to happen. And the fact that this was based on a real person in the porn industry who was groundbreaking is really cool. I liked how only Vinny ended up with a happy ending. I kind of thought maybe he wouldn't get the happy ending, but the fact of the matter is life goes on, and he found his out and took it instead of staying in. He made the decision that was right for him as a person and actually took his out when he was given it. Can't say the same for Candy, who could have gotten to make her movie and not have to have sex on camera anymore because her boyfriend was willing. He liked the fact that she was a director. He did not like the fact that she was going to have sex with other men on camera. Can't entirely blame him. She couldn't let go of her past, and that was how she became who she is, so I understand that. But at the same time, all she saw was that woman who was bored and rich, a former porn star. Yet she was an acclaimed director. With his money, she could have made her movie, and then she could have continued to make more movies. Instead, she went and had sex on camera, made her movie her way, but then she lost out on an opportunity for love, which I don't know if that was necessarily a trade that she intended to make, but the fact of the matter is, her ending is not entirely happy as it could have been because she couldn't let go of her past. Life never fully went on for her. And this is the case of pretty much everybody in Vinny's life that died. He saw all the people that were dead at the end, and none of them let go of their past. Their past and their life of sin in that era of New York took them down, and they went down with that era of New York City. Abby, who I affectionately refer to as Vinny's former lover, live-in girlfriend, her life went on and she wasn't there. Vinny, he got to go live and be happy and his life went on. He lives in Florida. Almost everybody got that, like, escaped. Frank, he got to go and do something else in Baltimore. We don't know what happens to him. Their life goes on. But like Bobby couldn't let go of the life. He just found a new way to try to live it with the Russian women. And then it took him down. He had nothing left. Tommy, I mean, he was trying to hold on to what the mob was. I don't know if he picked the right sides of which family. I think it's the Gotti family that really ended up taking over there. Who knows if he sided with them or not. It's not really important. The mob life is going to take you down one way or the other unless you can get out like Vinny did. And it took down Tommy. My main gripe with the series finale is that nobody addressed the fact that Laurie Madsen died. Nobody. If she was as popular in the porn industry as we were led to believe, you'd think maybe there would have been like a little vigil, like the entire industry would have mourned the loss of this star. I guess life just went on and nobody even acknowledged that she was gone. That was a little bit weird. Maybe they cut it for time. It was a long episode already. And it wasn't integral to Candy's arc or Vinny's arc, the fact that she was gone. That's kind of the main takeaway here. This show was about Candy and about Vinny. We saw how at the end, in Vinny's future self, he still recollected fondly upon his time knowing Candy and the way their lives and their paths crossed. And everybody in each of the other's lives kind of like intermingled like a spider web, even though the two of them only saw each other in passing and never truly connected. Now, maybe Vinny, like, he never really let go of her. She held a special place in his heart. That's cool. It's just the whole show, a slice of New York life in that 70s to early 80s time period, which disappeared off the face of the earth completely forever, never to return. That was what made The Deuce so cool. It was a delve into this life of sin that was made okay for the people living it, and then swept away, and we can just appreciate it. What did you all think of this series finale of The Deuce? Were you like left like, no, don't time jump, no, don't get all cheesy, reminiscent, heartwarming on me? Because this show was about the evil, decrepit world of porn and drugs and sex on the street and prostitutes. I mean, sure it was, but it was about the people, and the people involved weren't bad people. They were just trying to do the best they knew how. Yes, some of them killed. And yes, some of them were pushed to kill. But the whole point was that that doesn't have to define you as a person just because you make a single mistake. And when you let it define you, it's when it takes you down. I'm Dan Salem. This has been The Deuce here on BuzzChomp. Ooh, what a show. Quite a show. Great series finale. I truly enjoyed it. It was a little cheesy at the end. But life goes on, and when it does, it kind of is cheese. It's so hard to end a show. They did a nice job here with The Deuce. Tune back in to BuzzChomp for more great TV every week. Woo!
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.